Here nature time boom. All glory be to God the Holy Ghost. Music, music, music. Black magic plastic. Bullet. Lord Jesus Christ Almighty, get water, flash, and lightning from the southern sea. Hey, gringo. This is Ringo Perry and the voice of Africa. Ho, amigo.
These books that I'm talking about they're talking about going back to how it was, how it should be, how we were. Of course, we're living in a chemical world, and so periodically we're going to have to take measures like my lemonade diet or other kind of fasting or cleansing or colon cleansing or whatever it is that we're going to do to help our condition. But it has to be consistent, and it has to be long term, and it has to be slow. That's something I realized. When I first started this journey, in 2 months I released 56 pounds, and I was like, and that was just after Christmas, after Kwanzaa, and I thought, well, by the summer I'll be in my bikini. And then, of course, everything slowed down, and after about 5 months, stopped altogether. And I started to feel bad, actually, from eating a lot of fruit. What was happening, which I did some more research, and a few people have talked about a guy called Arnold Ehret, who wrote at the beginning of the 20th century, about raw food and fasting and that kind of stuff. And he was the first to really explain to me what was going on, because you go to the raw vegans and they say, oh, you got to be 100% raw vegan, eat more fruit. But I couldn't sleep. I was on edge. I was jittery. And what Ehret explained is that the cleansing properties of the fruit was releasing as I was losing weight, had released this toxicity into my bloodstream. And so every time I'm eating fruit, this stuff is just like coming off the surface of my cells or what have you, and just kind of re-poisoning my body each time. So I had to come off the fruit not come off completely, but definitely reduce the amount of fruit that I was eating in the beginning. So it's kind of like it went from fruit to fat. Raw fats, healthy fats, so-called healthy fats, but still fat is fat. Just like sugar is sugar. So I've been playing around, and I can't say I have the exact protocol that I require right now, but I'm on a journey, and like I said, there's no going back. And I bless all of you, and I thank all of you for being here with me and for helping me and supporting me and commenting. And I want to apologize to everybody I need to apologize to. I tend to, my ego tends to think that, once I say something, it's like a proclamation and people should pay attention, and people have the right to remove my comments from their channel. And for me to get upset at that's ridiculous, really. Obviously I was having a bad day or a bad week or a bad month, but I apologize, for putting my negativity out there. I have a sister Dr. Richards. She is always correcting me, because I always have this negative self-talk, these little sayings that I say, but they put me down, and I can't be about that anymore. So yeah, so what was I saying? So yeah, I'm actually ready to go to bed. It's getting a bit late, but anyway, since this cleanse, it's really opened up my eyes to a way forward. I'd kind of tried a lot of things and maybe didn't try them long enough. That's impatience again. However, I've developed this 40-day plan. I'm calling it my sun-fired African livid, because we no longer dye it. I really don't know how to get this, but it's vegan. It's rawish. The only things I may cook: yam, sweet potato, rice, peas and beans, things like that. But pretty much everything else will be raw and added raw. I don't know if anybody's interested in this. I put this together based on some of the things that I read in those books about, electric foods, and I've also did some research on foods that are African in particular. They always say, they brought us out of the continent, but they never brought our food with us. And pretty much a lot of the food that you'll find on the continent now is enslavement food, pretty much the same food that we get here. Rice, that's not a African product, doesn't come from Africa. Things like breadfruit, which we get here in the Caribbean, doesn't come from Africa, comes from Polynesia. So I think it's important not for me to get so pure, not pure, but start paying attention, and something else that I've realized is that, I may eat correctly or healthily for days on end, but then I'll always seem to have a day or two where I splurge or go completely back to sad, or even overeat in raw, and I eat a lot of calories, and when you average it out, probably still doing myself a lot of damage by doing that kind of yo-yo stuff.